If you're like me, you have as many dog friends and family members on your Christmas list as you do humans. This year for Christmas presents, I decided to make some homemade dehydrated dog treats in my oven with no special equipment and no previous experience. Surprisingly, it worked pretty well. I'd love to show you how we did it, if you're interested in giving it a try yourself. Step 1 is to collect every baking sheet, pan, and rack that you have and try to figure out how it will all fit in your oven for the next 12 to 24 hours. Next, you'll want to decide what kinds of meat and even vegetables you'd like to dehydrate. I chose canned salmon, string cheese, beef liver, chicken and duck feet, and chicken hearts. Third, you'll want to make sure everything is sliced fairly thinly, between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch, and arrange it in a single layer on your baking implements. Unlike cookies, they don't really spread out, so you can pack them in pretty tightly. Then simply place in the oven at 165 degrees for 12 to 24 hours, or until fully dehydrated. If you have a dehydrate setting on your oven, definitely use that. But if not, just keep the oven door cracked open a little bit. Ideally, dehydration would take place on a rack, allowing for airflow above and beneath your items, but I didn't have enough racks, so I used parchment paper lined cookie sheets, and it seemed like it worked out okay. I did have to turn my items over about every 4 hours and blot any additional oils or liquids that had worked their way to the surface. And each item did get a turn on the racks that I do have for about the last 2 to 4 hours of their drying time. The chicken and duck feet took the longest by far at a full 24 hours. The first 12 hours, they were in a baking dish, and the last 12 hours, they were on the racks. Here you can see everything. You've got the fish and the cheese on the top shelf, the beef liver below that, the chicken and duck feet, and the chicken hearts. If you have a kiddo, you may notice that they are also taking this opportunity to make treats for their imaginary mythical creatures. I believe she said these particular treats were for her dragons. While everything is in the oven, I took the opportunity to print some cute little Christmas labels. These were just from a template in Microsoft Word, nothing fancy. I included a little ingredients list as well as an expiration date. Once fully dehydrated, meat products are said to be shelf-stable in an airtight container for at least 2 weeks. So my next step was to thrift some glass jars from my local secondhand shop. You could use airtight containers of any type, including things like old pasta sauce jars or just Tupperware that you have on hand. A larger opening could actually come in handy for the bigger items, as I had some difficulty fitting the chicken and duck feet in through the opening on these jars. But it all worked out in the end. And voila, our adorable little homemade dehydrated doggy treat presents are done and ready to gift to all of the dogs and wolf dogs on Echo's Christmas list. But before we do that, of course, there's one more step. Echo has to sample the goods. She can't be giving away presents that she doesn't know for a fact are delicious. So let's see what she thinks. Well, there you have it. I think it's a success. Thanks so much for watching our video on making homemade dehydrated dog treats with no special equipment or prior experience. I hope it inspired you to give it a try. And if you enjoyed this, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing with other animal lovers. Thanks.